I just wanted to show you guys this fan. I happened to be at my storage unit getting some figurines to ship out, but I saw Pete's video yesterday and he was talking about the old fans, and yeah, they are great money. Now this one, I picked this one up, oh boy, it's been a couple years now. We were on a trip in Tennessee and I picked it up at a flea market and I paid, I want to say $15, but the thing was, it didn't work. Like, I plugged it in, it didn't work, and like, I spun the blade because a lot of time you could tell a burnout motor. Not all the time. If you can't spin whatever it's connected to, then they'll tell you the motor's like seized up or burn up. This one spun freely. So what I did was, I took the cord. We went back to our condo we were renting, and I took the switch off altogether, and I just twisted the bare wires together, plugged it in, and it worked. So at that point I was like, well, it's a switch. So I bought, this is actually a modern switch. There we go, Leviton. That's a modern switch, but it looks kind of old school anyway. So I don't know, I think it was a couple of bucks on eBay. Popped that in, and now it's a good working fan. I don't know what we're going to do with it, but my wife won't let me sell it. So we had an antique booth back then, and I had 120 on it. That was like the don't want to sell it price that we had on it. It's pretty small. Like, it's like maybe 14 inches tall. I don't know what date it is. It's a Westinghouse. But yeah, pretty cool. She really liked the color. That blue color, very popular. If I did try and sell on eBay, it'd sell really easy, I'm sure. Anyway, guys, that's the fan.
First, I'd like to raise a glass as a toast to those free thinkers and men of action that declared our independence from Great Britain 240 years ago today. So that's pretty amazing. I'm not sure those types of men exist in today's world. But yeah, it's pretty awesome, and I'm proud to celebrate that every year. We had steaks. We did steaks on the grill. It was pretty low key, and had a little rum and coke, and But yeah, I do think about those events, and I'm grateful for them. So, the book deal. If you watched the last episode, I've been on this book deal. It was 260 Japanese manga books, a bunch of flags, some video game connectors, and things like that. And I had an offer in. I've been in contact with the lady over the past 3 days, and as it turns out, she's selling the house that all the stuff is in. The stuff is in 2 rooms. She's selling the house, and she wanted the stuff out. The son is on the left coast working. He wasn't able to really deal with it, and she didn't have anywhere to store it. So at the 11th hour, an uncle stepped forward and offered to store it, and the whole deal fell through. So if I would have known the genre a little better, maybe I could have struck a deal that she could do without getting the son's approval. But without that knowledge, I went a little lower just to make sure I was on the safe side. I still made a fair offer. Well, a fair offer in respect to what they wanted. But yeah, it fell through. I'm a little disappointed. Very disappointed, actually. The second time I went over, though, I did buy some stuff. It's these. This is some manga, like real big Japanese comic books. And this Japanese stuff is weird because you got to read it from right to left, because even though they translate, this is like English versions, it's still bound the same way. They don't change the direction of the pages or anything. But these are all pretty thick, and I'm not showing you all of them. I have like 4 boxes like this of them. It's about a little over 50 books. And I paid $8 for all 50, and the retail value is somewhere around $1.25 to $1.50, provided I bundle them right. I'll need to bundle them in like tens. These are mostly sequential and mostly complete, missing a few issues here and there. So that same day, same trip, I bought 3 TI scientific calculators, and they were originally asking $5 a piece. And when I went back over to try and make a deal on the books, and when I bought those Shonen Jump books, she just took $5 for all of them. And this is probably the least valuable, and you'll see this one all over the place. TI-30X 2S, and I actually already sold it for like $6. But they're all in really good shape, and they all have the little reference cards, and people appreciate that because a lot of them don't have reference cards. Hell, a lot of them don't even have the covers. So those are pretty good. And the value ranges on those from like $13 to $6. This one's probably like a $9 calculator here. So no big deal. I buy scientific calculators, especially TI, if you get them cheap enough. You know, they're real easy to list, sell, and pack. Same trip, I got these for $2 a piece, and these are microphones, like vintage microphones. And they're both Sony, if you can see this or not. And I thought they would be, come on now, there we go. That's a Sony F99B. It's really kind of cool looking. That's a stereo mic. It's actually got left and right outputs on it. And then I have this one, which just says Sony cardioid microphone on it. And I don't know a lot about mics, but I do believe that's like a very directional mic, as opposed to, I don't know, condenser mic that I think brings like all sound in from everywhere. So you would need to aim this one right at an instrument or right at, you know, whoever's speaking to pick up. Good. So anyway, yeah, I paid like $2 a piece, and I'm going to try and see if I can't use one of those because they look like pretty high quality mics, and it doesn't look like they're going for a lot on eBay. Because nowadays people want mics that, you know, have USB inputs or outputs on them. So yeah, there's those. Also, I have a programming note. I was contacted by Chris from The Walking Picker today, and he invited me to be on his show Wednesday at, let me make sure I get these times right, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, and I guess that would be 7 p.m., you know, like in the West Coast, like whatever, Pacific time. There might be another time zone in there. I always get kind of confused, but yeah, 10 Eastern, 9 Standard. That's on Wednesday. I'm going to be the guest on that show, and I'm going to put a link down below. But that's The Walking Picker, so that ought to be pretty fun. I've watched his show past 2 or 3 weeks, and he does a really good job. I enjoyed it. He's had some good guests. Hopefully I don't end that streak for Chris. Okay, so I'm doing these. Today is the eBay sales video. I'm going to do this a little different today, and I'm not going to stay with this format forever. I just want to give you guys a glimpse into what it looks like on kind of a bad week, like not a bad week, but a little bit slower week for me. Like this past week, since I last showed one of these videos, I did not sell very many big ticket items at all. I sold a ton of smaller ticket items, and you know, whenever sales are slow, sometimes those small ticket items are kind of nice to have, you know, just to have some kind of income coming in. Per dollar, yeah, you're going to put out a little more effort if you're not, you know, experienced and don't really have good processes down, you know, in place to shoot and list and pack and all that stuff. I think I've gotten pretty good at it. I've gotten pretty good at managing my time on that stuff. But this week only, I'm going to show every sale that I made on eBay and a couple on Bonanza in the past week. So I'm going to try and go through them quick, guys, because I do know some of these small sales might not be quite as interesting. Oh, and I'm going to put float on top first before I forget. There we go. But yeah, make sure you try and check out that show live if you can on Wednesday, because I'd appreciate you guys if you have any questions. That'll be your shot to hit me live. Okay, so first we have that calculator I showed you that I bought. So I guess a unit price on that would be $1.67 or whatever 5 divided by 3 is. But yeah, I sold it for $6. And your YouTube content, the reseller YouTube content creators out there, you guys probably already know, but I know a lot of you use these tabs like I have, and you can see I have like just a ton of tabs across the top. I was trying to click on them, and sometimes they were actually closing instead of opening the tab. So I did look up the keyboard shortcut, and I'm on a Mac. And if I hold down Option and Command, and then use the cursor left or right key, I could switch between, well, if I'm on the browser, I could switch between tabs real quickly without actually having to click on the tabs. So that's something you might want to use if you don't know already. Okay, next, Fable 2 for Xbox 360 sold for $6.64. I don't remember what I paid. This would have been $1 or less. Okay, this is part of a large lot of fishing stuff that I bought. You can see I had 4 of these available. I sold one for $2.68. Here's another of that same type of thing. I think this went to the same guy. A lot of times the good thing with this stuff is they'll order like 3 or 4 of these, because I make it all the shipping on additional products like this free. So a lot of times they'll order 3 or 4 of them, and it doesn't really cost me anymore anyway, because these things weigh like maybe an ounce or 2. Okay, this is a figurine lot. I bought out a gift store's storage unit over a year ago now, and I've been selling these figurines forever. Unit cost on these, it's hard to say, maybe 20 cents a piece. But yeah, $7.17 for that. $3.99, and this is like rock bottom I would ever sell a game for, I think. I hope I don't see another one lower than this. But typically, if they go below this price, I'll lot them up or throw them in with a game system. Twisted Metal Black Sony PlayStation 2 for $4.99. Final Fantasy 9 for Sony PlayStation 1, and this one did not have the manual, or I would have sold it for a little more. The discs were in nice shape. I paid $1 for that, and I remember this sale specifically for some reason. I paid $1 for both of these packs. I've had them for quite a while. I started a little higher, and I've been lowering the price. Sold it for $7.34, both of them. And none of these prices I'm listing include the shipping. So shipping was paid on top. Okay, more fishing stuff. I'm sure I already said it, but I had, I don't know, 50 pounds of this stuff, maybe more. 2 big boxes, so it's really difficult for me to tell you unit cost here. But for instance, I had they were getting all 5 of these for $8.07 plus shipping, and I started with six bundles like this. I've sold 3 so far. So I mean, the profit is really big on these. Just the money isn't big. The profit margin is big, I should say. More of that fishing stuff. I've sold 22 of these so far. And when I say 22 of these, I mean 22 3-packs. So I've actually sold 66 units. There's another one that sold. This is a Genesis game. The cost is pretty negligible here. Maybe $0.25. It's part of a box bundle deal. Sold for $6.99. And Genesis games, they don't sell very well unless you have just the right ones. Some more fishing hooks, $6.60, $4.99 for True Crime. I've had this game a few times. It doesn't sell for a lot, but it sells quick. Turok, $4.99. And more fishing stuff. And yeah, even though, I mean, it is very low money. That's really all I can get, because this stuff is not expensive in the stores. Not, you know, it might be $4 or $5 in the stores. But I did only have to do one listing to sell 3 of this particular one. I sat down one morning and worked on it for probably about 4 or 5 hours to get everything up. Sold out of these now. Sold 4 of those total. That's one of the games I got recently in the past couple of weeks. $7.99 for Freedom Fighters. This is one of those figurines from that lot I was talking about. Crazy profit margin. The only thing I don't like about these figurines is they take a little bit of time to pack. I don't like packing them. I'll be very glad to see those things go. That's some vinyl. This is from a big lot of vinyl I bought. I'm still working on listing. I'm not super experienced in vinyl. I know these particular records didn't have much value, so I just lotted them together. And they finally sold. I think I started them at like maybe $13 a couple of months ago, and I've kind of lowered them since then. This is an example of an item that I've actually made a pretty good bit of money on. I've got 49 available. I originally started with 160 of these, and from one listing, just one listing, I've sold 160 minus 49. This is like the second, well, 2 listings, I guess, because this is the second time around I've sold these. So I've sold 111 of these now, and they're super, super easy to pack. You just slam them in a bubble mailer and slap the label on, and they're done. So I paid $1/4 for these, and so I'm making at least $3 per unit, because I do have a 50-cent handling fee that covers the fees. Another one, and I'm selling like 4 or 5, 6 of these a week currently. And there may be more people moving to new machines. This is a cable to move from one computer to another with data. And there may be more people moving to new machines right now, because the Windows 10 upgrade, free upgrade, is about to come to an end, I believe. And some more figurines. This was actually this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one were all bought from somebody in the Netherlands. And they asked me how much. And I went and figured it out. I knew that these would probably weigh about 2 pounds total, but then I quoted them a 4-pound rate for my time. Because otherwise I'll just hang on to them. I'll ship them out one at a time domestically, and I'll make the same money. So if I don't get a few dollars for my effort, and for the risk you take whenever you ship internationally. So the shipping ended up being like $49.50 or something. I'll probably end up spending $30 or so. So that was a pretty good sale. This was something I've had around for a while. This camera was in really nice shape. And I bought it, I believe, I bought the bag, that camera, it's an old film camera, and a couple of lenses for $5. And I already sold the lenses individually. I don't remember what I got for them. It was probably on the order of $50 or so. I had the camera sitting around. It's not a lot of value there, but it's $20. So what else am I going to do with it, right? Very clean camera. And, you know, I checked like the battery compartment for corrosion. I looked at the camera real close. Didn't see any issues whatsoever. So whenever I have something like that come up, and a question I get a lot of times is, you know, do you test this? Do you test all of your video games? Do you test this? You test that? And sometimes the answer is yes, sometimes it's no. So like this particular case, I felt confident that with a new battery, this camera would work 100%. No problem. So I said it would. I said perfect working order. And if it doesn't work, I'll stand by my word on that. I'll just refund them. I won't even ask for the thing back. Other things, it might not look as good, or I don't have a good feeling about, or maybe maybe they have an optical drive in them or something like that, or a tape mechanism that really needs to be tested. I wouldn't make that same assertion. It's too risky, but I'm willing to take on the risk here. And hopefully that'll go okay. Let's see. Okay, this is pretty cool. This was this came as part of a lot of stuff. So, I mean, the acquisition cost $1 or $2 tops here. And this is a cool little Wii case. See, it's got like a zipper thing. It holds 2 controllers. And they come with the original, or the authentic Nintendo OEM silicone jackets and wrist straps. You always want to use on this kind of stuff original or OEM or authentic words like that, because there's a lot of Chinese third-party knockoffs of this stuff. And I also got a good close-up of this little Wii controller zipper pull. I thought that was cool. So yeah, $25 is a really good price to get for 2 Wii controllers, especially ones that aren't Wii Motion. So that was a good deal. And I already got feedback. Buyers very happy. Okay, just a Game Boy game, Donkey Kong, $9, good deal. $12 for Republic Commando. Unit price on this game, I know for sure. This is when I bought all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and dinosaurs and big old box of video games and everything. So the unit cost on this is 50 cents or less. I bought a big stack of games that day. And this is part of it too. This is a really good one. This is the one, if you looked at the pickup video, I couldn't say this. Call of Cthulhu? I still don't think I can say it. But anyway, if you see this game out in the wild, grab it, because you could tell it's got some value. That's a very high value for an original Xbox game. They're typically not that high. This was cool. I picked this scale up for $2 at a garage sale. I've had it for probably about a month, and I just listed it maybe a week ago. So this is the case with me. A lot of times it takes me a while to list stuff, but it doesn't matter. I mean, this thing's, I don't know, 50, 60 years old. Another week isn't going to hurt it. But I paid $2 and I got $40 plus shipping. And this one I did include, I took a few minutes to make a little video of me using it. And I even see, I weighed my glass head here. Then I took it over to the vintage scale. So you see, I mean, makes it a little personal. I don't know if it really sold it or not. Don't care. Sometimes it's kind of fun. Give you a little way to try to connect, even if it's one-sided, with your buyers on a more personal level sometimes. I don't do it often. Okay, this is a Super NES, and I did test it, and I showed it being tested. I didn't put video with this. I showed it being tested in the photos. I only have one set of cables, and this was kind of that yucky looking yellowed Super Nintendo. It had a few cracks and stuff in it, but it worked fine. I sold it console only with no controllers or cables or anything for $40. Bought this book, this set of books, Mouse, for 50 cents. Okay, this is something I thought would do a little better. I've had it for a few months now, and pictures are pretty bad. I really don't like this. I don't know why I wanted to go with this backdrop. But anyway, I'm doing better now. This is a really cool waffle iron. It's got wooden handles, and everything comes apart. Let's see if I can show you. Yeah, see, it all comes apart, and there's this neat little ball joint that was engineered there. Pretty cool. So I tried it for a while, like around $30 or so, and it didn't sell. So I got $15.74. Still a decent return. I wanted more though. You probably saw me pick this up for $1 maybe a week ago or so. I picked this up for 50 cents at a church sale, and it's pretty cool. It's a little perpetual calendar thing. You spin it to line up the months and the years, and then you have the day and date. And it's I thought it was kind of interesting because it's for Cunard. Let me move my mug here. Cunard Lines, the cruise ship company, and I believe that's the Titanic cruise ship company, I think. I'm certain it is, actually. Okay, this is, if you guys remember, I bought 4 or 5 season discs. It's a total of 20 of these Seinfeld discs. And I decided to go ahead and just, instead of selling them all together, I would just sell them as replacement DVD. So I'm just selling one disc at a time, and I have 20 of them. And there again, they're in these individual cases, so I just slap that in a bubble mailer and it's gone. But I'm getting $4.27 a piece for these. That's another one of those calculators I just showed y'all a few minutes ago. Sold for $13 plus shipping. Okay, that is this controller right here. And I've steadily seen the price drop as more and more people are using the Xbox Ones. But you can a lot of times pick these up for $1 or something. I think I might even gotten this one for 25 cents. So that was a good profit. I mean, it wasn't long ago where you were getting like 23 to 25 for these, though. I think I showed y'all this maybe 2 days ago. This is Dungeons & Dragons Monster Manual. I paid, unit cost on this is probably $1.50 because I bought a couple other books. Sold for $17, so that's a good sale. Okay, these are cool. This is 2 glasses from the 1984 World's Fair that was held not too far from here in New Orleans, Louisiana. I think this guy's name was Perry the Pelican. Something like that. I thought his name might be on there. Do I have his name there? With Pelican? No. So yeah, I bought these for like, I can't remember. It was either 50 cents or $1, something like that. And somebody in New Orleans paid $9.50 a piece plus shipping for these. So that's a good sale. And I love selling stuff like this because I really feel like with items like this, I'm putting them in a place where they're truly appreciated. It feels like I'm really providing a service. It feels the same, kind of get the same feeling I feel whenever I sell a yearbook. I feel like I'm putting something in a good home. It's not so much just a commodity type item that you can get from anywhere, like an Xbox 360 controller. If I didn't have that Xbox 360 controller, somebody else would have. You know, somebody could have got it. But I don't know that anybody had these particular cups at this time. So that was pretty cool. Okay, I paid $2 for this, and I sold it like the next day for $12. And if y'all watched my latest pickup video, I bought a big box of DVDs. It was probably like, I don't know, 12 DVDs, and I had 3 of these SC TV, Second City TV box sets. This is one of them, and I bought the whole box of DVDs for $5, so unit cost on this is $1 or less, and just sold it for $29. So that was an excellent buy and sale. Okay, these are some Legos I had around. Don't remember what I paid. It was a lot less than $12.34. This is £1. Don't really like dealing with Legos too much. I don't want to sort them, but I'll buy them. This is one of the books I just got. Official Nintendo Player's Guide. I got $10 for it. That was part of that lot of Nintendo Power magazines, and I do have those sorted, but I haven't listed any of the magazines yet. I've listed a few of the guides, so I paid $30 for all that stuff, so now I'm only into that whole lot, big lot of over 200 books for, I'm into that lot for $20 now, so. Okay, this actually sold tonight too. This is a Sony stereo amp, and it doesn't have a stereo tuner built in. It's just an amplifier, 250 watts, and I paid $15 for. I paid $15 for a stereo amp, a stereo tuner, a CD player, 5-disc CD player, and a cassette deck. So I get home and I test all the stuff out later, and cassette deck is bad and the CD changer is bad. So I did have good working tuner and amplifier. So unit cost on those would become $750. So that's still going to be, after fees and all, about a $40 profit on this item. So, but yeah, stereo equipment, especially anything with moving parts, because you'll notice 4 items, all part of the same stack, you know, in somebody's system. 2 of them have moving parts, 2 of them don't. The 2 with no moving parts work fine. The 2 with moving parts don't work at all. So solid state or no moving parts is really way better than moving parts, to tell you the truth. Okay. This is on actually Bonanza, and I believe this is like the first sale I've ever made there. This is one of those ones that I picked up for about 50 cents or less after the whole lot's said and done, and sold it for $15 on Bonanza. So I don't know how I feel about this Bonanza thing, because it was supposed to, when I sold here, it was supposed to take it off of eBay, and guess what? It did not. So that kind of irked me. Kind of made me want to just shut things down on Bonanza, because if I sold this here and then I sold it on eBay, well, obviously, if it happened quick enough and I noticed it, I wouldn't ship the Bonanza one. I would ship the eBay one. But let's say I already shipped the Bonanza one. Well, I'd be screwed then. I'd have a defect. That would suck. Okay, another Bonanza sale. Same guy bought this one, this lot of 10 comics, and this is part of a lot. I bought a long box, 350 comic lot for $50 or $60, somewhere on that order. These 10 sold for $8.31, and then these 21 sold for $18.47, and those both went to the same buyer. So that was a nice sale there too. So I've got my work cut out for me. Tonight I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my drink and start packing up some of these orders. I've got a ton of orders going out. But to my point, I had this past week, I had a lot of sales. But as you notice, there weren't really that many that were over like $30 or $40 mark. I had a few. So even though it's kind of a slow week, I still had a lot of a high volume of small sales that kind of kept me going this past week. So, and I know the bigger ticket items will start to sell, and I'll start to put more bigger ticket items up this week. I have a lot of stuff to list. So don't forget, guys, try and catch me live if you can on Chris's channel, The Walking Picker, Wednesday, 10 Eastern, 9 Central, 7 Pacific. It should be a lot of fun. Or catch the replay if you can't catch it live. Thanks for watching, guys.